Hey guys, so here we are, the beginning of the marathon reviews of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm going to be watching these movies in an order of my choosing that I felt was the most accurate way of watching all of them in a particular timeline that makes sense. The first movie that I am going to be talking about is Captain America: The First Avenger. Really, this film is about the origin of Captain America, Steve Rogers' transformation from this small, weak man but with a big heart into a big man with an even bigger heart. And he still keeps those lessons that he's learned his whole life with him. And it's him wanting to fight for his country against Hydra and Red Skull. I'm going to talk about the things that I loved in the film. First of all, Steve Rogers, freaking Chris Evans, who played this awesome character. He really dove down into what I believe is the best representation of what Captain America is all about, and you really learn to love this character just within the few minutes that you see him before he even becomes Captain America. The other thing that I loved is the costume and the feel of the era. You really feel like you are in the 1940s, and I think Marvel did a great job incorporating superheroes and war mixed in together. Steve and Peggy's relationship is something that I also really enjoyed throughout the film, and we all know how it ends, but just watching the build up with them, every single scene that they have together, you really feel their chemistry. The last thing that I really loved about this film was the ending. It was a very solid, heart-wrenching ending that sets you up for what's going to happen next. What's the future for this character? And by the time you get to the very ending, the post-credit sequence, you understand what they're doing, and it's a really good job with what they're setting up for Captain America's role for the next films to come. The things that I didn't like about this film, I'm going to start off with the pacing. The pacing throughout the film was kind of a little bit all over the place, especially the scenes with Red Skull. Every single scene that comes up, Hugo Weaving does a great job as him, but there's just something different when we go from a scene with Captain America and the Army and then you go to Hydra and Red Skull. Overall, I don't mean to hate on Red Skull, I just felt like Red Skull's scenes weren't as engaging as Captain America's scenes with the Army. The other thing that I know it's not like a huge deal and no one really talked about it, I feel like, when it came out, but for me, the other thing that I didn't really particularly like was the clear green screen behind some of the scenes during fight sequences or when they're walking in the city. Just some of the CGI seems kind of goofy, and maybe they did that intentionally because it's the 1940s and it's kind of a goofy period of entertainment time, but for me, it just kind of took me aback and was like, well, that's green screen. Overall, I enjoyed Captain America: The First Avenger. There was some issues, but throughout the entire film, the core of it was Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter's relationship throughout the entire runtime. So I am going to give Captain America worth seeing. Usually I would have the movie right behind me, but here's the thing. I went to go over to my parents' house and visit them, but I left the Blu-ray case over there. And I know that I don't have time to go back there, so that's why there's no Blu-ray case behind me. So this is the original first film, Iron Man. This is what stapled what we know as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I chose to do Captain America first because it took place in the 40s, with Howard Stark, Tony Stark's father, who helped Captain America through his adventures. And now, years later, we get to see Tony Stark and what he's bringing his father out from his legacy to now today with Stark Industries. Tony Stark is a really egotistical man. He's very about himself. He does really care about certain people, but overall he mainly cares about himself. And throughout this film, you see in certain story elements when he's in Iraq and he notices terrorists are carrying his weapons, he wants to change his industry. He wants to change the look and feel of it. He doesn't want to be known as somebody that handed out war weapons to every single side of the world. He wants to be a person of real peace. First thing that I want to say was the opening of the film, the first 3 minutes was gripping all the way through. During that sequence, you feel the terror in it. You feel what Tony Stark is feeling. He just wants to get out of there, get safe. He wants to find his friend Rhodey, but he can't. He's stuck right there in this situation where people are trying to kill him. That leads me to my other positive, the acting. The performances are all amazing. Jeff Bridges, Terrence Howard, Robert Downey Jr. Everybody does a great job, especially Robert Downey Jr. He really gets into character with this story of Iron Man, from Tony Stark to Iron Man, and you really see the fruition of character development and character change in how he sees things throughout this entire film. The action in the film is top-notch. for one way to get your Marvel Cinematic Universe going, Iron Man was the correct way to go. For all the sequences where he builds the first suit, it was truly epic and amazing. And when he builds that final suit, the classic red suit, he goes back to where he was kidnapped and taken hostage, and he saves people. It's one of the best sequences in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because it really shows the beginning of something beautiful that will happen, which is later known as the Avengers. Things that I didn't like about this movie, I am going to give Iron Man a masterpiece. So I hope you enjoyed my first 2 official movie reviews of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Captain America, the First Avenger, and Iron Man. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and please don't forget to share this with your friends and family, and I hope you guys have a great day, and don't forget to be blessed.